Why can't people just change? It's a question many of us have asked about ourselves or another person at some point in our lives. It's a natural question when you can see the destructive behavior, but not the reasoning behind it. This is where people start assuming that outwards forced change will fix the problem, but that's not how this works. These patterns exist for a reason, and even if you were to force temporary change, the nervous system often pulls a person back to what feels normal and safe. Our bodies are built for survival. Every part of the system is designed to protect life. This means both helpful and destructive habits come from self-protection. The difference is how much accurate information the nervous system has. Sometimes the body sees clearly. Other times it only sees a partial view, leading to choices that actually aren't aligned with safety. These repetitive, painful patterns aren't chosen because someone wants the pain itself. They are chosen because the system is chasing counterfeit safety. To understand why, we first have to look at the nervous system and how it operates, which is through survival directives. In natural function, the nervous system has one goal: fulfill all needs of the nervous system. This naturally creates presence so that the body can accurately observe, process, and then respond to reality. Because of this, the nervous system can correctly distinguish between what is a threat and what is supportive. This level of clarity and connection allows action to become aligned, driven by self-trust to navigate life. This produces a natural cycle. Identify a need, take action, receives a fulfilling reward, and repeat. The system follows one command of one thing, and that is true safety. It's an assurance of an accurate, fulfilling completion of all needs involved. Dysfunction begins when the nervous system no longer trusts its ability to meet its needs. And so, survival no longer feels assured. This often develops through the body experiencing extreme and/or prolonged helplessness, lack of control, or overwhelming stress. This leads to a harsh yet understandable survival shift. The nervous system stops searching for all of its needs to be met and starts settling for some. Complete fulfillment is now seen as a luxury instead of a basic necessity. Like a phone on power savings mode, the nervous system shifts into conservation strategy. Once a need feels inaccessible, the system compensates for that lack. Here, the way that the nervous system processes and interacts with reality changes. Instead of pursuing true safety, it chases the closest possible version it thinks it can get. This is what counterfeit safety is: an inaccurate view of safety built on partial awareness, only seeing parts of your needs and distorted ideas on how to fulfill them. It becomes normal for some of your needs to be prioritized while others are ignored. This can be helpful in life or death situations, where it acts as a buffer to get you out of immediate danger. But more often than not, are people having this nervous system get stuck in counterfeit safety for years or even lifetimes. This directly results in a loop of yearning. a cycle of chasing what feels like safety, getting temporary relief, and then unmet areas surface up, and now you're there chasing distorted versions all over again and again and again. You are never satisfied. Dysfunction also doesn't only happen when you've neglected everything. It can begin with failing to meet just one necessary need. In any case of dysfunction, the system is doing its best to survive with the limited options it knows and thinks is accessible. Because people process reality differently, dysfunction can take on different adaptations as well. The nervous system's internal command, how one thinks, feels, and responds, shifts accordingly. Now, disclaimer for what we're about to get into. What I'm about to share with you will not be clinical definitions, but rather my interpretation of nervous system dynamics, where we will explore how each dysfunctional pattern may be trying to create safety, its own version of safety. With that, let's jump straight into it. First, we have depression. Depression can be understood and seen as energy conservation on every level. The system learned no matter what I do, my needs won't be met. So the system stops trying. Energy is not created in abundance, nor is much spent. From this perspective, conservation feels like the most logical path, and outward expression and engagement begins to feel restricted as the system finds the most safety in isolatory hibernation. Secondly, we have anxiety. Anxiety is hypervigilance of the nervous system, where it believes I must constantly scan and prepare in order to stay safe. This leads to overanalyzing, overthinking, and staying on edge, all to prevent danger before it occurs. Third, we have suicidal ideation. This is the most extreme form of energetic shutdown. Here, the system has concluded there is no way out of this. There is no solution, and so continuing would mean suffering. Therefore, from its, again, inaccurate view, it seeks to escape what it perceives as inevitable despair. It's its own solution. For our fourth disorderly pattern, we have OCD. OCD is seeking control through repetition and rituals. The system has attached safety to equate to specific tasks being completed or thoughts, believing if I do this correctly, then I'll be safe. The ritual becomes one's anchor and pathway to safety. Next, at number 5, we have BPD. BPD is an erratically shifting perception of safety, unstable and volatile. The system rapidly alters between this is safe and this is a threat, resulting in intense swings in thoughts and emotions, as well as inducing highly reactive behavior. This is often from safety presenting inconsistently, where the relied upon security flip-flops between friend and enemy. Extreme reactivity is a natural response to facing such extreme polarities. At number 6, we have anger issues, a state where even minor events trigger disproportionate, explosive reactions. Here, the system has learned that force brings the fastest, most assured results. It believes the only time that I'm heard, respected, or taken seriously is when I explode. intensity begins to equal importance, and anger becomes much less about expression and more about acting as a survival tactic of assurance. Lastly, at number 7, we have antisocial personality patterns. This can be identified as a detachment from emotional processing. Although the nervous system can cognitively and logically identify and conceptualize topics, it disconnects from the consequence and empathy side of it. The emotional signals that allow someone to feel those impacts in real time fail to fire, a result of having labeled connection itself unsafe, particularly deep emotional closeness and vulnerability. In doing so, it disconnects from intimacy with oneself and others, leading to behavior that is driven by immediate control and gratification to achieve its fragmented sense of safety. In all of these patterns I have listed, the nervous system altered what safety looks like and how it is achieved. From not being able to believe that one can achieve true full safety, they adopt and adapt to what they can get right now through the means they find accessible. When looking at these patterns, what do you recognize yourself most in? As you think about this, know this is not about diagnosing yourself or confirming a disorder. This is about noticing what nervous system patterns feel most familiar to you. The point here is to understand why and what your nervous system has been trying to do, how it's been trying to keep you safe, and then to provide the insight onto why it may have chosen that route. What does it think is inaccessible? What pathways is it actually trying to compensate for on what it can't get? Remember, it's been trying to keep you safe with the information and tools it had at the time. And the good news is, information can be added and therefore patterns can change. By expanding your understanding of true safety, your nervous system can learn new ways to achieve it, ways that don't just help you get by, but actually allow you to fully experience your life. As life is about experience, but what we can experience is limited by our capacity. How present can we be? How far are we willing to go to ensure our needs are fulfilled? And how ready are we to identify what's needed, let alone go after it? Since dysfunction started from not being able to trust yourself to stay safe, then the path forward means rebuilding that trust. Yes, this will take time, effort, and a continuous commitment, dedication, but it will provide you the space and internal resources to actually achieve a life you want to live. And for those of you who are currently struggling with dysfunction and painful patterns, please keep this in mind. The way your nervous system is operating is not your natural state. It's an adaptation to what your body has been through, not proof that you can't change. You absolutely can meet all of your needs, and you absolutely can become someone that your body feels safe to rely on. Part of that journey is about differentiating between what your true needs are versus the specific ways you've attached to meeting them. You might have felt like you need a particular person, place, or circumstance, relationship. But to be truly fulfilled, the true need underneath it was maybe connection, respect, or emotional safety. The important thing to know here is that needs can be met in more ways than one. To learn more about this distinction, keep an eye out for my next video, which will discuss more in-depth needs and wants, exploring the key distinctions and their innate commonality. Additionally, for those interested, there is also another upcoming video to directly help dysfunctional systems themselves, focusing on how to reframe counterfeit safety and naturally desire true safety. In the meantime, though, you can start with becoming aware of your needs and what they look like, and then, little by little, you choose to honor them instead of abandoning them. There are always little steps that you can take to assure you build self-trust. Check out my video, How to Build Unbreakable Self-Trust, the Self-Security Loop, to learn more and gain a universal tool that you can use at any stage of your journey. And with that said, though, the self-trust video is best for those ready to build and/or strengthen internal reliability, where you already have a good general understanding of true safety and what that looks like for you personally. On the other hand, the reframing video will be more aligned for those currently identifying counterfeit safety in their own system and correcting it. Be sure to stay mindful and objective about where you are at. That way you can choose the tools best for you and invest in the right materials for what you are building. And for those that want immediate personalized clarity, my coaching sessions are available to help you uncover any blind spots and properly guide you on your path of thriving. Email me at lunashealinglounge@gmail.com, also found in the description, to book an appointment. Take care and have a good one, and enjoy your process of true safety. Have a good one. Bye.